Hello, welcome back. I'm going to show off a project that I worked on a while ago, and over the years I've added little bits to. I wanted to build a palace in my Minecraft world, somewhat like the Palace of Versailles. Uh, then I decided I wanted to do a building of my own design. I was looking at pictures of the Catherine Palace in Pushkin, south of St. Petersburg, but I still wanted the grounds to be like Versailles. So I've just always called this Versailles in my world, even though the building is not like Versailles. Uh, Approaching the palace, we start by going through. I intended for these to be academies, a couple of twin schools with a large flower-filled plaza and a large statue on a fountain before coming to the central facade of the palace. I went with a dark blue wall color scheme with white columns, black obsidian columns here for the central bay. And then I have the gate out in front. And I'll make sure that I upload the updated texture pack that should include these gold colored gates. So the palace has these central front steps. The overall shape is like this. I don't want to give away too much of the gardens beyond. It actually really is a complex with multiple buildings. Over here, we have a bridge from the main palace to this yellow building, which I decide to build as the chapel. I didn't do a ton of stuff inside. It's not quite finished. I was also preparing to do a frieze or a fresco up on the ceiling. I was just playing around with different colors and trying to make it look interesting. I didn't even finish the vestibule for the chapel. And then over here was a building that I intended to be, oh, almost like an exhibition hall, like a royal exhibition hall. Designing this, I was thinking about the Louvre in Paris. I was a little bit more concerned with the outside of the building. So I have these large statues up on top. Same dark blue as the main palace. The main palace I did do an interior for. There's not really a whole lot in there. No furniture or anything like that. It's pretty much placeholder interior. There are a couple of things that I tried messing around with, like a staircase here. I'll go through a few of the rooms. They're not all that interesting. I just don't like to have empty shells of buildings. I'm going to make a video soon of, I tried to do a recreation of the Catherine Palace, and that I followed the floor plans, and it's a little bit more logical in how it's laid out. This one, unfortunately, it doesn't make that much sense, the floor plan of the palace. I was more concerned with the exterior. So, coming down these stairs, we have the start of the gardens here. And I'll just turn around and show the rear facade of the palace. It is symmetrical. I actually built one half of it and then just copied the whole thing over, mirrored it on itself. I was having a bit of a hard time figuring out exactly what the grounds should look like, the immediate foot of the palace. I settled on having this paved walkway with steps that go down to the grass, a handful of trees in large pots. I also built a nice large greenhouse. And anybody who knows what the real Versailles is laid out like, you'll see immediately that I've deviated from the real one. There isn't a greenhouse like this over in this location relative to the palace. This is just something that's my own design. It was inspired by Versailles. I just wanted to play around. Greenhouse, I have bamboo. This I built when bamboo was first introduced into the game, along with pandas. I was imagining to have kind of a menagerie here. That gives you an idea of how long it's been since I started this project. Now, with the Olympics being on last week and this week, I've been watching the eventing at Versailles. So I'm going to hop on my horse for a tour of the grounds. I have some flower beds with hedges, different designs. Some of these, they're just seas of flowers, which I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I just tried a few different things. Reflecting pools. And we have here some steps down from the gardens that have mostly flowers and hedges. There on the right. On the left, we have a bit more of a forest. I have these large planters. Statue. We have a nice wall here. I imagine this to be like a swimming pool. We have over here beehives. Whenever I build something in creative, I'm always keeping in mind what it would be like to play survival in this setting. I think about, oh, I'd be able to collect a lot of honey from here. We also have over here, I wanted to build or tried to build the Trevi Fountain in Rome. Just see what it would look like. If I were to do it again, I'd probably make a few changes. I also didn't do any of the statues. But here in the grounds, we have some, a little stuck. We have some trees and paths laid out. We have larger pathways that cut through and go to the important areas. Here we have the Grand Canal, a large cross-shaped reflecting pool. Here we have a nice view of the palace. This pool forms the center, the heart of the grounds. We have a nice gazebo over there, smaller gazebo over here. Over here we have some of the outbuildings. Now the real Versailles, on this end of the central axis of the Grand Canal, there's the Grand Trianon and the Petit Trianon. Now, I have my grounds laid out a little differently. I also don't have things going on angles the same way as the real Versailles, but I do have this pavilion here, and then a house that I have as a stand-in for the Petit Trianon. It's not an accurate representation, it's just a center hall house I decided to put here. I may, at some point in the future, try to actually build the Petit Trianon. Ooh, we're lagging a little bit, but for the time being, I think that this will work. Sun's setting already. And then down this path, I have the Grand Trianon. Now I actually have it mirrored compared to the real life counterpart, but I did want it to be apparent as being the Grand Trianon, especially with the color scheme. This is actually the second time that I attempted to build this building. I worked on a much smaller one elsewhere that I really didn't like the way it turned out. This one I thought was much better. The interior is very basic, lots of white, dark oak floors. I imagined it being less of a small palace like the real Grand Trianon is, and more like a casino that the royal family would go to for afternoon picnic. I did put bedrooms in. I didn't really furnish them very well. Could definitely work as a stately guest house, which, from what I understand, the real Grand Trianon pretty much was. But I put in fireplaces. Sometimes I like having stately rooms with no furniture in them. Something about that just seems very dignified. And I'm worried about over-cluttering it with too much stuff. Ooh, we have a goat inside. So this bedroom I decided to do slightly more, but we have the outside facade. And some gardens, just how I wanted them to look. We have flowers, hedges, little pools, a few fun little Easter eggs. I always work these into everything I build, but here's a hedge maze, and in the center we have everything for making a wither. I imagine it might be fun to go into hard mode, hard survival mode, and try to fight a wither from here. And this is actually the edge of what I've developed in this world. We're actually not very far from the coordinates 0, 0. Where I had first spawned. Oops, took a wrong turn. Oh, that was a mistake. All right, back on track. We're going back to the Grand Canal. Here we have the other edge. Lots of frogs, probably too many frogs actually. I didn't realize I put so many in there. We have this nice circle, which during the Olympics at the real Versailles, this is where some of the other equestrian events are. They put grandstands. I just have it as a nice open circle. And we just have the rest of the park. We have trees, flowers, hedges, all things that I had to plant myself. This whole area was flattened out. We have little things like a miniature version of the Baths of Diocletian from Rome. Just small little projects here and there. I made sure to populate with lots of animals and different kinds of trees and plants in different areas. We have here, opposite of the Petit Trianon, a nice little chapel. We have another house over here. I'll just go through the yard. Another thing, center hall, I imagined it being like a dowager house or a guest house, something like that. Still very stately, but just enough removed from the main palace. Oh, camels. I forgot I put camels here. The stables, I'm not that pleased with. I think it's very basic. Um, I'd probably redesign these. I probably will redesign them at some point in the future. But I wanted to do something really big with a lot of natural elements. And here we have these nice trimmed trees along the edge of the canal to section off from the more wild areas behind. And that is my version of the Versailles Park. It's a little bit smaller. I think it's about 3/4 size of the real one. The gardens between the Grand Canal and the main palace are a little bit larger than that in real life. I wanted things to still be on a scale of Minecraft that I could easily navigate. I hope you like it, and I'm going to have a few more videos about showcasing a few other buildings that I've worked on and a few other projects more recently than this one. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one.